Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. This morning I'm going to be joining a conversation that's happening around the world actually, because the Pope Francis has declared that in 2023 October that the Catholic Church is going to meet the representatives of each country, the bishops, the archbishops. They're going to meet in Rome in October 2023 to discuss a way forward. Synod and synodality. This morning I want to chat with the Archbishop of Port of Spain, Charles Jason Gordon, as well as the co-chair of the Synod team, Dr. Ruby Alleyne. Good morning to you and welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am good for now. How are you?
You know, it's a great morning. The sun is shining. The savannah is looking beautiful. Trinidad and Tobago is brilliant.
Nice. So I understand that from the 27th, Saturday the 27th, we'll be having a mass that kind of launches the whole theme of the Synod here in Trinidad and Tobago. Tell me a little bit about it, about the plan and the process.
So the mass launches something here in Trinidad and Tobago that will find its culmination in Rome in 2023. Pope Francis has asked that all dioceses around the world start this process of listening, not just to the people who are in the church, but to the wider church, and especially to those who might have not been part of church for a while, and especially to those in the margins, the peripheries, and all those on the edges, so that we start hearing from all of our people on how they experience the church as a welcoming and friendly organization, how they've had experiences of church that have brought a bond and a sense of wellness in terms of us as church together being church. And Dr. Alleyne can tell us a lot more about these detailed plans in terms of the process for us doing that, and also for the mass that we are entering into.
All right, well, let's get in. Dr. Alleyne, can you get us into the details of how the Synod team is going to be processing this information, collecting the information as well?
Yes, so we're into the process now of organizing those conversations and communications throughout the parishes in Trinidad and Tobago. His Grace has used the beautiful imagery of a concentric circles. So we have like one drop that falls into the water, and then the circles start widening and widening and opening out.
Yeah.
So the conversations are very much like that. Every parish, every community, every congregation in the church is at the moment appointing their coordinators who will facilitate the conversations in those areas. We are working on the training and formation for them in terms of this process of listening and discernment. And so we will begin in December with the conversations. We will have them structured. Most of them will be online because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. But we also have what we call an individual encounter track. And that's for just an individual who wants to speak directly with someone in the process rather than being part of a larger group. So we facilitate that as well. One of the things that His Grace mentioned is that we're looking at those persons who are on the periphery. We're pushing really far to get those persons who haven't been involved in church for a long time, for those persons who feel disenchanted or hurt or in any way pushed aside by the church over the years, and we really want to bring them into the conversation this time. That's what's so different about it.
And I imagine that would be a task, because you'd have to get the people to be interested in sharing their information or sharing and being a part of this conversation. Why would they want to be a part of this conversation?
One of the things, yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr. Alleyne.
One of the things about this process is that it really focuses on the listening. We've had a lot of conversations with persons throughout the church and who've left the church for some time, but I think we have been asking them to listen to us. Mm-hmm. This time we are open to listening to them. So it makes, it switches the whole approach to it as well.
Nice. Archbishop, I understand that, but from my
also
understanding
the many people who have experienced the church or have been heard by someone in the church, and they've never felt that they've had an opportunity to say that.
Yeah.
And because they've not had the opportunity, it just remains in your crow, and it just, well, you get on with your life. Mm-hmm. Well, if you have an opportunity to come and say, well, look, you know, this is my experience, and somebody's really listening deeply to you, there are two things about that. First, that you get it off your chest. Mm-hmm. And second is that the listening process to somebody is cathartic. It brings a healing to them and allows them to then move on with their life. whatever comes out of the listening or whatever decisions come out of it. Our first aim is to listen in a way that people are validated and that whatever you have to say is heard and that you know that we hear what you are saying. So it's not just we're hearing with our ears, but we have to hear with our heart and let people know that what you are saying and what you are feeling, we are hearing with you and we are feeling with you. So the listening really has two stages to it.
Fantastic. Tell me something, Archbishop. Synod, it means like traveling together, journeying together. How is that journeying and that traveling happening in our local churches today?
Well, you know, the church in Port of Spain has had this process going since 1977. We have had an assembly in 77, which was fairly wide-ranging. And then in 1988, again, we brought people together. Then in 2003, 2005, 2009, we've had synods that have brought people together. In each of those, the aim was to have 1,000 people come together from all walks of church to be able to listen together, journey together, to discern what God is asking the church in our time. And so we have had this process going for a fairly long time as church. And it has been very fruitful in the way that it has given shape to and direction to the church. This one is different because this is a synod about synodality. So a synod about the way that we listen as church, which is very different. All the others are synod about what kind of church do we need to be and what is important for church right now. This is a synod about how are we listening as church? How are we journeying together as church?
I look forward to the outcome. Dr. Alleyne, can you tell me if the Archbishop mentioned that, you know, they had a target of 1,000 people previously. Is there a target number of people that you're hoping to reach with this particular consultation?
We're hoping to reach a much wider range of persons and a larger number of persons. And that's the kind of trickle-down effect we're hoping for. We have at the moment about 500 persons who are going to be trained to manage these conversations in other parts of the country.
Okay.
So in each area, we're asking persons to identify not only the Catholics in their community and those who have been practicing for a while and those who have left, but also other interested persons. We're reaching out even to other Christians, non-Catholics, and people of no faith, people who don't believe in God. That's what our Holy Father has asked for us to do this time, to reach as far as wide as we can. So we expect the numbers to really grow and build as we go along. We're also trying to use a lot of creativity in terms of how we reach people. So we're reaching children this time in the schools, as well as in the First Communion and Confirmation classes, and we're encouraging and involving children in the process as well. As you can see in the logo, if you can see behind His Grace, there's a child leading the process in the logo. Yeah. And similarly, we have children this time being involved in the process in a way that we haven't had before.
I look forward to these consultations. I think it's a good step in the right direction, and I know that a lot of information will come out of it. And I trust that you guys will put the necessary training in place to be able to make sure that it's safe, of course, that it's judgment-free, and that all the information is collated properly and effectively. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us this morning, and congratulations, and all the best going forward with the Synod as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too, have a blessed day. That's Charles Jason Gordon, the Archbishop of Port of Spain, as well as Dr. Ruby Alleyne, the co-chair of the Synod team, telling us a little bit about the Synod 2021 to 2023. Of course, in October 2023, the Pope has suggested that, well, you know, everybody come together in Rome and we'll have a chat about the way forward, how we're journeying together as a church, as a Catholic church. We take a quick